Welcome to G Live. You know how we do. Welcome to G Live, guys. Fortunate are those that have quality people in their lives who push them, who are good at what they do, who help them, who show tough love, so forth. And the gentleman that I have coming on here, my good friend, Aasmund, we're going to bring him on. He's definitely, for those that know, he definitely shares tough love, and I love him for that. He's excellent at what he does. So let's see if we can get him on here. Let's see here. That's it. What's up, Micah? Okay, here you go. All right. What's up, brother?
Hey, Fabian, can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Awesome.
All right, good to see you.
Awesome.
Good to see you.
Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Yeah, for those that don't know, my friend Aasmund. Aasmund, how do you say your name? I don't want to mess it up.
Yeah, you know what? I get that a lot. Why is my name so difficult to pronounce? What does it really mean?
No, I'm not even saying that. I'm used to Aasmund, so I just want to make sure I get it wrong,
Yeah, so it's really pronounced Aasmund, but I mean, I'll cut you some slack. It's yeah. I mean, you're doing very well for an American. I'll give you that.
Cool. Awesome, man. Thank you for taking the time out. Aasmund is coming to us from not too far away. Where are you? Where are you located, brother?
Yeah, so I'm based in Norway in Scandinavia, all the way across the Atlantic Ocean from the other side of the world.
I was looking it up. I mean, it's only 3,500 miles away. But
yeah, I know. It's not that long, right? I mean, it's like an 8-hour plane ride. So, I mean, what? You board a plane in Oslo, you get to New York, and it's only 8 hours. So there you go. Not that bad.
Not that bad. And you've made the trip to the States several times. I was just thinking as we were preparing this talk, we first met almost a year ago in Atlanta.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and I mean, I can't believe that it's been a year. Time flies. It really flies.
Time waits for no one. It flies. And then you were recently in this New Jersey area early this year. Yeah. Got a chance to learn some more. So Aasmund is very good at what he does. He's a guy. One thing I respect about him: tough love. But he's really trying to help you. He's excellent at what he does. So Aasmund, before we get into the topic of the discussion, and like I said, I appreciate, we already got a lot of people in here. So the response for this was really, really well received. And I'm glad to see that because, in our network, you are highly respected and you're excellent at what you do. But before we get into the topic, share a little bit about yourself with the viewers.
Yeah, by all means. So, like I said, my name is Aasmund Ryningen. I come all the way from Norway, or I am all the way from Norway. I work a regular job as an engineer, and I'm very good at what I do. I love what I do. And apart from that, I'm a fitness freak. You always see me in the gym, right? Every single, especially on the days I don't feel like doing anything, I just have to go there. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And you have a really cool passion activity that we'll talk about later. So, yep.
Yeah, we'll save that for later. A big surprise coming your way, listeners, for later.
Absolutely. So, getting into the topic, creating and protecting your energy.
Yeah.
Right. There were, some people probably wondering, well, what is that about? What are they talking about? Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. Thank you. So yeah, like you said, I mean, we touched upon a passion topic, but I mean, this is my real passion topic because it's so vast and it's also so important, especially in this day and age. Technology. I mean, you're old enough to remember how life was before the internet, right, Fabian? before there were no smartphones, before there was no social media, when you had the telephone catalog with names that you wrote down by hand, right?
Oh,
And I mean, now you have these energy thieves. I mean, a lot of people call their smartphones energy thieves. I mean, I even remember one guy calling it the idiot box. It was so hilarious. It's like, I can't wait to throw this dang idiot box in the bin, because he was so tired of all, of all the phone calls, all the crap that he received. But in reality, he failed the number one task when it comes to a smartphone. And I'm actually getting ahead of myself there. We'll revert a little bit back to smartphones and how to use them later. But he utilized his phone as a toy instead of a tool, right? Because if I use my phone as a tool, if that's my tool for success, then I want to keep on working with it as long as I can, right?
Right.
I mean, I don't want to waste time on stupid phone calls. I want to level up, right? Whatever that means for, using my social media, writing emails, doing whatever, right? But let's start with the bare basics, because I mentioned going to the gym, right? Y'all may see me going to the gym, and it's quite funny because I'm 5'11", right? So I'm not very tall. I'm average height. I used to weigh a whooping 260 pounds, believe it or not.
Wow.
I was a real fat ass in proper American language. That's what I was. Yeah. I was a real fat ass, right? I was feasting on all this unhealthy food, all this processed food, chocolate, cheesecake, pasta, burgers, pizza, the whole 9 yards, so to speak, right?
Okay.
And that depleted me of energy. It drained me of energy, right? Because I would sit on the couch, I would watch television, and I would kind of like, complain and vent and moan and find excuses not to do work, not to go to the gym and so on. And of course, why would I do that? Well, because I was stuffing myself full of all that crap, right? So, I mean, obviously, getting rid of the junk food is number one, right? Getting in physical shape. And, there are many reasons, there are many ways to do so. Well, I mean, there's many reasons for why you should do them. I mean, number one is your energy, but also your health, your longevity, and so on. But how you'll do that, I mean, that's up to you. And I'll actually, I'll take this opportunity to say that anyone who don't know, happily go pay someone for their expertise and receive the feedback that you need to implement, right? Because it's that important, right? Getting in shape, even if you have to hire a personal trainer or buy some course online or whatever. I mean, the internet is rife with courses, so I mean, it's a matter of picking the appropriate one.
And
we're please.
And I was just going to say, and within our network, we're fortunate where we have a lot of incredible men who are very good at fitness, at nutrition, so forth, blood work, etc. So we got But great point. It's a great point.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of like number one, because we're talking about your health there, right? And obviously, I mean, to me, it was pretty simple. Intermittent fasting, no food between 12 and noon, right? And also eggs and steak diet, or a low carb diet. That worked for me. I mean, my spare tire just dissipated.
When you say from 12 from 12 midnight to noon, so basically the first half.
Excuse me, I miscommunicated. I meant from noon till 8 p.m. That was what I meant. But I mean, oftentimes it's been actually 12 or even 24-hour fast as well, right?
Okay.
But no, I meant to say from noon till 8 p.m. Right?
Really?
It's called the 16-8 intermittent fasting model, whatever it's called. I mean, that's what it was called when I looked it up, and that was in early 2018. So I've been doing this for 4.5 years now, roughly, and I've never felt better. I mean, I'm 37. I'm in way better shape than when I was 27. Right?
That's awesome. Good for you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you when you do that 12 to 8, do you have a meal after 8 p.m. Or
I can, but then I have to delay eating until 1 or so, the day after, right?
oh wow, okay,
Yeah, I can. So the idea is, of course, 16 hours of fasting, right? But I mean,
okay.
come on, you can break it sometimes. I mean, whenever you and I see each other and there are drinks on the table and pizzas and good food, I mean, you're allowed to break it, right?
You
Of
know,
course you are. But
especially,
the
especially
idea
when
is
we get
still,
together. Especially when we
yeah,
get together.
exactly, right? But the idea is still, I eat more healthy than I eat unhealthy. And
Yeah,
because of that, and it's like an 8-to-1 ratio, whatever, or 7-to-1 ratio. I mean, nowadays I have multiple cheat days. Guess I shouldn't say that live, but still. But if you're struggling with your weight and your energy, it comes down to that.
yeah,
That helped me massively. And like I said, I started this at a relatively advanced stage. I was 33 at that point. Right now I'm 37. So I mean, I'm proof you can do it. Right?
yeah,
You
yeah,
don't. I mean, even though you've passed 30, you can still do it. Right?
yeah.
I
No,
mean,
absolutely
age is no excuse.
right.
It's really not.
When you made those changes, brother, what did you notice? I mean, obviously, it's not going to be overnight, but once you got going and once you started seeing changes, talk a little bit about the changes in your energy level day to day.
Yeah, yeah. And you touched on something very important because in the beginning it's hard, right? But then it gets easier. Because, I mean, you start up in the morning and you're used to eating breakfast. Let's say you want bread, eggs, bacon, whatever, right? And I don't know, jam or whatever, right? A club sandwich, perhaps, right? And you're
Yeah,
used to stuffing yourself full of food in the morning because, oh, yeah, that raises my energy levels, blah, 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 because that's what I've been taught from since school, and that's what the food pyramid, which I despise. I ain't gonna use all the nasty words I want to use about it, but
yeah,
let's just say I don't approve of the food pyramid. Yeah, but what did I what did I notice in my energy levels? They massively increased
okay,
because I was eating less. I
yeah,
was getting more energy. I mean, it's literally a
amazing,
inverse development.
amazing. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And it's
In
so
ter-
simple because everybody can do it, right? And also at that time, I was dirt broke. I literally couldn't afford to eat as much as I used to do, right? So I mean, it was a healthy way of cutting down on my budget spend.
right, and then in terms of, obviously water is so important, right, in our
Yeah,
diet. Talk a little bit
absolutely,
about.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, replacing milk, chocolate milk, sodas, whatever crap beverage you're used to, I don't know, washing down the crap food with, drink water, right?
Right.
I mean, I just use
Water. Sparkling
ordinary
water
tap
helps,
water.
right?
What's that?
Sparkling water helps. Sparkling water helps a
Oh
lot
yeah,
too.
sparkling water helps. I mean, you gotta love those bubbles, right? But I mean,
That's it.
no, I was using ordinary tap water,
Hmm.
literally. I would
Okay.
go over to the sink and help myself with with a bottle of tap water, and
I
it
know.
helped, right?
I know.
Because
You
water
said you were limited
actually,
on funds, so I know sparkling water. Yeah, yeah. You know what I mean? I get it. I get it. You do. You
of
work with what
course,
you
right? But the point is still,
got.
I'm washing down my healthy food with a beverage that adds virtually no calories, and
Yeah,
also black coffee. Black coffee. It's as
yeah,
simple as that. Coffee or black coffee and water, and that's it. I mean, I've heard these fitness gurus, and I forget the guy's name, but it doesn't really matter. Some guy who advocated for adding butter to your black coffee. I mean, I
I
guess
heard
it
about
works.
that. Yeah, I
Yeah,
heard about.
I
Yeah,
never tried it.
I never
I
tried.
guess it works, but
Yeah,
to me, it's kind of gross because I don't want to mix butter in
yeah,
black coffee. But
yeah.
the
People
idea
have.
is the same. The
But yeah,
idea is the same.
black coffee. It acts as a suppressant, right? An
Yeah,
appetite suppressant. Yeah,
yeah,
right.
it does,
Yeah,
and it makes your beverage, it makes your gut feel filled up. So
yeah,
I mean, if you, I mean, the downside is you got to go to the bathroom and pee a lot. But I mean, come on. I
right,
mean,
right.
you're shedding weight, but still,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
it's great. And like I said, once again, this is the key ingredient here. My energy levels increased because I was eating less, because I was shortening my eating window. Now, there might be some scientific explanation as to why that is. I mean, I remember I used to listen to all of these fitness podcasts, and there were people talking about ketosis and this and that process and blah, blah, blah. I mean, I'm sure they're right.
Yeah.
I'm just letting y'all know about my experience with it. And
Right.
I heard similar stories as well,
Right.
right?
Right.
Because I ate less, my energy levels increased,
Okay.
right?
Right. Right.
It's pretty simple. I mean, it's obvious, but it ain't spoken about a lot, right? Because I mean, whenever you Google search or whatever, how to lose weight or how to maintain a proper body frame, whatever, you always hear something about, yeah, breakfast is the healthiest meal of the day. You should eat more salad. You should eat more soy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who the
Yeah.
hell wants that?
No.
Eat
Right.
less. More
Right.
meat, more eggs, more cheese. Yeah, I mean, your cholesterol levels
Why? Why?
get elevated, but still.
For someone that's listening and may not know, why steak? Why eggs? Talk a little bit about that, G.
Yeah, sure. I mean, once again, I don't have a scientific explanation as to why that is, other than, I mean, I'm pretty holistic by default, right? So I like to go back to Mother Nature. I mean, even though I'm an engineer and I have an analytical brain and background in that regard, I prefer a holistic and all natural raw view on things, right? So what is more natural than eggs when it comes to food? Virtually nothing. I mean, an egg is as natural as it comes, right? And the same goes for meat, right? Steak, pork chops, chicken breast, whatever, all those kinds of meat variants, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And by some scientific explanation, I guess, or I don't guess, I know your energy levels get increased because you're eating natural foods. I mean, as opposed to processed foods. It's that simple. Because I mean,
Right.
bread, pizzas, tacos, etc. What are those? Those are pastries. Those are processed foods, right? They're unhealthy. A bunch of ingredients mixed together into this dough that's filled with crap, right?
Yeah. Alan,
Yeah,
Alan
funny comment.
thought the Vikings conquered lands on vegan diets.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the Vikings slaughtered all the animals and feasted on good steaks as they were conquering.
That's it. That's
that's my
it.
that's my best suggestion. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, so that takes kind of like care of the basics, and yeah, once again, it's very obvious, but it's very important, right? Because
Right.
I went from weighing a whopping 260 pounds into slimming down to a more healthier 185 to 190. Maybe it's up to the 200s or something. I mean,
Mhm.
I don't know, roughly. I don't weigh myself. I measure my waist. That's what I measure.
Right.
That's what I do.
The waistline
Yeah,
is a very important indicator because that'll
yeah,
tell
it
you.
is. Because I mean, muscle tissue weighs more than fat, right? And
Yeah.
once again, there's probably a lot of experts out there who may or may not will disagree with me. I mean, I don't know, but that's my experience. And once again, I'm not 18, I'm not 19, I'm actually 37 years old, which means I'm a middle-aged man, I guess. I mean, I feel like I'm fucking 15. Why? Because I have
But
so intense energy levels,
yeah.
right?
In
Absolutely.
in terms of your energy, creating and protecting it, what else?
Yep.
What can you talk about now? We hit. We talked about diet.
Yep.
What else plays a key role in that
Yeah.
that you
Yeah.
share?
Yeah. So that takes care of the basics, right? So now that I have my health, in check, I'm going to, what a surprise, believe that I can do everything and believe that I'm the best in the world, right? That doesn't mean I go around and I am rude or impolite to people, of course not. But it
Right.
just means that I have self-confidence,
Right.
right?
Right.
I
Right.
mean, once again, it's pretty simple, but it's very, very important, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because if I have self-confidence, and if I go around walking this earth like I'm a god, once again, I'm not rude with anyone, not at
No.
all. I mean, I say please, I say thank you, I I treat people like they're my best friends, whatever, right? but I believe I can do everything. I believe that I'm a god conquering these lands. And I mean, the Viking comment is pretty funny because, yes, of course, I personally use that as a fuel, right? I
Yeah,
mean, my
that's
ancestors conquered lands for crying out loud, so why can't I do the same thing,
right.
right?
Right. A lot of
I mean,
hearts.
imagine if the Vikings had Instagram, bro,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
internet. It would have been savages all over the world. It would have been
They
crazy, right?
decapitate people and doing an IG live while doing it.
Yeah, yeah. Doing it IG Live was
That's
slaughtering. I mean,
something
I
else.
would have been crazy. That would have been so fun. Yeah, I mean, anyway, so yes, I believe that I can do anything, right? I believe that I am the best in the world.
Right.
And that's my default state. But now it gets down to what I was telling you again about going to the gym, about implementing it, about doing actions, right? About doing things. Because,
Right.
I mean, it's quite funny. You know how a lot of guys, especially Tony Robbins and other mindset coaches, whatever, they teach all of this stuff about affirmations. You know,
Yeah.
walk into the bathroom, look into the mirror, and say that you're the best in the world, or pose and flex your muscles, whatever, right? I mean, I guess that works to some. I mean, I ain't gonna say it's worthless, but what I will say is affirmations are worthless if there are no actions following
Right.
them, right? You
Right.
know what I mean?
Right. It's empty.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it is. It's empty because I can sit here and tell you, hey, Fabian, guess what? Tomorrow I'm going to bench fucking 300 pounds. I mean, yeah, benching 300 pounds, but whatever, right? But if I don't do it, then what am I? I'm
Yeah.
a fraud. I'm a
Yeah.
hypocrite. I'm a liar. That's
Right.
what I am,
Right.
right?
Right. Absolutely. You know, it takes action. You have to implement it. You have to put action behind the words
Yeah,
in order to get the desired result.
yeah. I mean, I liken it. There's a lot of reasons why I don't recommend going to the military. I mean, I've been in the military myself, and now I think less of the military than I used to. But
Oh, you were in the military as well? I
what's
didn't
that?
know. You were in the
Oh
military
yeah,
as well.
yeah. I was in the military because in Norway, back in, I mean, now they don't have it anymore, but back in the day, they used to have this mandatory, obligatory first year military service, drafting, so to speak, right? So I
Right.
was drafted for a mandatory first year service. It's only a year,
Okay.
and I mean, back then it was okay, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nowadays, like I said, the military has turned into something completely that doesn't align with my views.
Right.
And maybe the same holds true for America
I've
as well.
been in the military, but I've heard. I've
Yeah,
heard.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. So,
But anyway, what they taught us in the military was discipline, right? Yes, I'm going to use a very, very basic and menial example here, but it's very, very important.
yeah.
We were six guys living in one room, right? Every single day we would put on our military boots, dress up, go out and pretend we're playing war, or not pretending we were playing war, right?
Yeah.
Pretending we were at war, right? And then we'd go back and unwind and relax and do whatever, right? So what does that mean? It means that the floors get fucking dirty every single day, right? Because we're running back and forth all the time, right?
Right.
So that means you need to clean your rooms and mop the floors, right?
Right. Right.
Boring stuff, but it needs to be done, right?
Yeah.
And every single day, of course, they would have these room inspections. I'm assuming that's
Yeah.
pretty much universal, I think. Whether
Yeah.
you're in Norway, America, whatever country that has a military, right? The rooms need to be kept clean, right?
Right.
But we saw the value in it because come Friday afternoon, there were no room inspections for the whole weekend. And
Hmm.
guess what? On Monday morning, the floors were a fucking mess because we'd been running out back and forth for the whole weekend, right? And we sometimes were permitted leaves, so we could actually dress, in civilian clothes and
Yeah.
walk outside, right? Drink, have fun, whatever, get back
Right.
to camp. But I mean, the floors were fucking nasty. So what did that teach us? The importance of discipline, right?
Right. Right.
So I mean,
Right.
I can't magically make the dust and the dirt
No.
go away on the floors, can I?
Right.
No, I need to do it, right? So I
Right.
can't magically make my bicep grow stronger, right?
No. Right.
I mean, I can't magically get washboard abs or getting a six pack, right? I have to eat properly. I have to exercise properly, right? So
Right.
that goes back to discipline. I need discipline and I need to go to the gym every single day. Because, I mean,
Mm.
you see me pretty much in the gym every single day,
Yeah.
right?
Right. Right.
Because of my situation, because of the way my life is structured now, I need to go to the gym, else I'd be doing it at home every single day,
Right.
right? I mean, in my dream scenario, I I had my bed in my gym, right? I
Yeah.
wake up and then I'm ready to,
Right.
start pumping, right? But the the boring the boring action and the discipline it takes to pack your bag, to grab it and to walk out the door and to walk to the gym. Maybe it's raining, maybe it's fucking cold. I mean,
Right.
I'm in Norway, which means it kind of tends to be a little cold
Okay.
during winter time. I mean, you're in New York, so you know about New York winters, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I mean,
Yeah.
I'll happily admit this, bro. When I was in New Jersey, it was cold during
That's
night. It was
cool. Yeah.
early
Yeah.
March,
That time.
right?
Yeah. And it was typical winter. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
typical winter, right?
gotta
So,
and
so
remember
I
we
mean,
had an early morning workout. Got to get up
yeah,
and do it. Got to get up
yeah,
and do it.
yeah. You gotta go get up and do it. And if it's freezing outside, it's slippery. You don't want to go out, but you have to, right?
Yeah.
And what a surprise! You feel so much better
Yeah.
after you've done a workout, right? You've conquered. You're a champion,
That's
right?
it. That's it. That's it.
It's
Men have duties they got to take care of. So it
Yeah,
is.
really. And,
Yeah.
I'm using mopping floors and I'm using going to the gym as these examples, and it translates across all spheres of life, right?
Yeah.
Because if I work a job, if I work a regular job, I make, I don't know, 65K a year or whatever, and, my salary shit, I want to make more money and so on. I need to find a way to convince my boss to increase my pay, right?
Yeah.
Because I need to make more money. So
Right.
what does that mean? Well, it usually means I need to understand the office politics, who matters, right? Who who matters more than others?
Yeah.
To whom shall I give a good impression? What specific work tasks must I do, right?
Right.
And from there on, I just go execute, right?
Right.
That doesn't
Right.
mean it's fun, right? I mean, it ain't fun. I mean, I'm blessed having a job that I love. So I mean, to me it doesn't matter that much. But I understand that a lot of other people, they don't necessarily love their work tasks, but they love reading the extra zero on their payslip,
Of
right?
course. Of course.
Everyone does. You too, Fabian. I mean, you're in real estate, right? You love adding those zeros to your paychecks,
Very
right?
important.
Very important, right?
Yep.
But the
Absolutely.
work it takes might not be as fun, right?
Right.
But I mean,
Right.
it's important, right?
Yeah.
And that also teaches you something else. If I'm climbing a steep hill, I will appreciate the plateaus way more because
Right.
now I get to rest, right?
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
opposed to walking on a plateau all the time where there's
Mhm.
no incline, where I don't struggle, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's as simple as that. I will create, I guess you could use the term adversity or more work for myself in order to appreciate, the pullbacks or the laidbacks, so to speak.
Right. Right.
Right?
In,
It's really that simple.
right. In terms of, because as we were planning this talk, and I was thinking even just earlier today, when I think about creating and protecting your energy, another thing that comes to mind is obviously the work that we as men have to go through ourselves and
Yep.
make the changes. Like you talked about your physical state several years ago, you were carrying a lot of excess weight. You weren't happy about it. You didn't feel good about yourself. You made changes to improve that. But I also was thinking about, in terms of that energy that you create in yourself and protecting it, how important it is to what influences, what people do you have around you
Yeah.
in order to build on that energy and protect it,
Um,
right? So
yes. I'm very
that,
glad you asked that question because I was just getting there, right? There is a
there you
structure
go.
behind all this, right? First, you take care of your body, then you take care of your discipline. Now you take care of the people who are around you, right? That's kind of like the big secret. I mean,
Yeah.
listen, I'm gonna go way back 10 years ago or something when I was doing a certain work task that had to be done, and it depended on someone else's kind of like opinion or insight. Now that individual was very cranky, very moody. You know what I mean? Those dull, boring people. They're like, "The fuck are you looking at?
Yeah.
Who the fuck are you?" Right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, for crying out loud! Now I have to deal with this geezer right here." But
Right.
it doesn't take more than a light joke and making them laugh a little bit, and before you know it, the guy was, I couldn't stop him from talking, right? He was just preaching all these things, right?
Right? You lit him up.
Exactly. I lit him up, right? And it's that important, right? Because, I mean, listen, you can only kind of like create so much energy yourself, and you can only be so positively and uplifting yourself. But if you're in a room by yourself, just think about this. If you're in solitary confinement like a prisoner, I mean, that ain't going to bring you up much energy-wise, is it? As opposed to being outside with other people, right? So, yes, being around the right people, seeking them out, right? I mean, we both experienced how important that can be. And like I said, I've said this so many times. I don't mind riding a plane ride that's 8 or 10 hours long, because I'm getting so much energy around being around the right sort of people, right? It's so important. It doesn't matter if I have to travel halfway across the world.
We often talk about it. When we met a year ago in Atlanta, being around you, being around some men that are here on this live right now, and others, the energy, we talk a lot about it. The energy is raised. Yeah. And it's something that it just charges you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why
I have the lightning bolts in the G Live. There's a reason for that. There's a reason behind everything we. You know what I mean? So it's very.
No, I fully agree, and I love you for that. Right? It's the thunderbolt. It's the energy. Right? Produces more energy than thunder. Listen, it's so funny. I was at a restaurant the other day, and all I could see, because it was the round table, and it was a group of maybe 10 or so people. They were all sitting on their phones like that, right? I mean, come on. I mean, why do you even have to go out to eat if all you're going to do is sit on your phone, right? I mean, you might as well stay at home. Or you might as well do an Insta Live and cook food. That's a more productive use of your phone than if you're going to go out. Because, I mean, I make it always a point of putting my phone away, and then, sporadically I check it, right? Maybe I'll have to excuse myself and go to the bathroom or whatever, or do something else.
I was thinking about this because in our circle, we have, if this is the phone, let's say this is the phone and this is the screen, it's screen down.
Yeah.
And you're focused on the person. If anything, excuse me, G. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, hey, sorry about that. And you put it
exactly
the screen down on the surface on the table, and you're engaged with those people that you're speaking with. That's important, man. That's important.
It is important. And the worst part
and it's a form of respect. You know what I mean?
It is a form of respect, and this is just common courtesy, in my opinion, right? But that tends to be lost, right? That's been lost. And this goes back to. I mean, we're making jokes about the telephone book and so on in the old days, but back then, remember how a party was, Fabian, back in the day before the smartphones? I mean, I'm old enough to remember that when there were no smartphones, right? I mean, when you brought along with you a camera to take a photograph, right? Remember?
It was so fun. Business address. Looking at 539. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Or writing it inside your hand or something.
On your hand? Oh, my God.
Yeah, exactly, right? But that made the connections, that made the conversations way more authentic, right? Because you had no other choice, right? I mean, you had to engage. And let's say the conversation came to a halt, like there was a natural stop or something. You then had to sort of like not struggle, but or maybe you had to struggle a little bit, or you had to work a way to kind of like engaging the other party in conversation again, right?
Right.
And that's an art form in itself as well. I mean, that's why I personally listen to Joe Rogan a lot, because I don't agree with everything that Joe Rogan says, but it doesn't matter. What I love about Joe Rogan is the way he's able to engage his guests in conversation for
Right.
hours, literally for hours, right?
Absolutely. So it's a great point. Absolutely.
Yeah, it is, right? And it goes back to what you were saying about screen down on the table. I mean, I even think it should be put away, that you shouldn't even be
Yeah.
seen with or you should be seen as little as possible with your phone, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's all about authenticity. It's all about spending time, as much time with people around you whom you like, right? And it goes back to that. And that also goes back to what I'm seeing in the gym all the time, right? Because I go to the gym. And yes, I use my phone, but I use it to track the time that I'm
Sure.
using on
Of
certain
course.
exercises, right? But
My
that's a
phone's
productive.
too. Yeah.
Yes, and that's a productive use of my phone, right?
Yeah.
But I
Right.
mean, I don't pose in front of mirrors with my phone to flex. I mean, I've seen that someone literally. It happened in the dressing room the other day. I mean, Jesus, it was so cringe.
It,
A dude was
well,
standing there,
the
t-shirt
phone.
off, flexing with his
Yeah.
phone.
The phone is used for a lot of reasons, a lot apps. Sometimes it's just kind of like a crutch. Like I don't know what to
Yeah,
do. Like, look down at my phone, look
yeah,
busy. Oh no,
yeah,
here's this person coming. I don't want to talk to
yeah.
him.
I know. Pretend I'm busy, pretend I'm having a call.
Yeah,
Hello.
yeah, you know what I mean. So it happens.
Yeah.
It's the way of the world.
It's so funny, right? But I
Yeah,
mean, why would you even go to the gym if all you're going to do is be in your phone, regardless, right? I mean, you might as well just take some push-ups at home.
right,
That's pretty
right.
much it, right?
I wanted to. Micah had a question here before we move on to the
Sure,
next segment. Can confirm
sure.
when eating. Oh, okay. He was saying. Oh, it was a comment. Can confirm when eating natural foods, the body does not need a lot of food. Okay,
Yeah,
I thought maybe he had a question, but
yeah,
thank you
yeah.
for.
No, but I agree, right? Because you're eating, and once again, I don't have a scientific explanation for this, right? But when you're eating natural foods, I'm assuming you get enough adequate calories for your body to process, and that's pretty much what you need. I mean,
Yeah,
nowadays I eat twice or sometimes even once a day because I'm busy doing other stuff, right? But I eat healthy, right?
yeah, yeah.
That's it. That's it. Yeah. And
Cool.
that also goes back to it's quite funny because when you're in a social setting, when you're in a social situation with a lot of people, if you eat natural foods and if you sort of like if you're around a lot of people and you enjoy your time and you're having great conversation and so on and it's fun and the vibe is all good, you don't need food, you don't need refueling and so on,
Right,
right?
right,
That's
right.
that's my experience, right?
It's a great point.
So yeah,
Yeah. Now, you're very passionate about this. We talked about energy and creating it and so forth, but there's an activity that you enjoy doing, which is physical as
which is
well.
yes,
It's
which
really cool. It's really cool. I want to hear about this. So go ahead
yeah,
and share what that is.
yeah, thank you. So yeah, my activity is scuba diving. And
Wow.
if you go to my Instagram, I mean, yeah, I'm gonna promote my IG profile on IG Live.
Gotta
If
do
you
it,
go to
brother.
my Instagram, you can see some diving photos as well, scuba diving. I absolutely love it, and I think more people should do it. And it's so great because it's a different world under there. You know what I mean? I mean, have you done scuba diving yourself?
I
Have
have
you
not.
tried it yourself?
I have not.
Right.
Explain for those that may not know. Briefly explain what scuba diving is
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
did you get
Sure.
into it? Are you just
Yeah. Yeah.
naturally a lover of water?
Yes to all. I mean, yes, I'd always had an affinity for water. I was always weirdly fascinated with this underwater world, fish, all the algae, all the stuff that's underwater, shipwrecks and so on. It's so cool to watch aquariums, right? And scuba diving, I mean, as opposed to free diving, is the use of, you have to use these oxygen or air
The
tanks on your
tank?
back and
Right.
so on.
Yeah.
Yeah, the scuba mask, the mouthpiece, all the hoses and so on. The whole deal. Like you can see on my Insta photo, right?
I saw you got
So
some really great pics, man. Yeah.
yes, and that's actually very important that you're touching on as well. Because why do I have great pics? Because I was diving with someone else who was a professional at capturing underwater photos, right? Because, I mean, anybody could buy a GoPro cam and pretend they're kind of like an expert, but no, you really got to know what you're doing underwater because, I mean, you got to hold the camera still, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And as you know how it's like when you're striking with your hand into water, the motion slows down because it's so much resistance, right? It's
Right.
like if you're firing a bullet with a pistol into water, the bullet
Right.
slows down, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it goes down, right? So
Yeah.
imagine capturing a photo underwater. It's a delayed effect, right?
Oh
Because
shit.
I mean, you're pushing down the button, but it's a delayed effect, so you have to hold it still for a very much longer time than on land, right?
Hmm.
It's an art form in itself, but it
Right.
goes back to finding the right people, like I was talking about, people who give you energy, people who dive and so on. But yeah, I've always been fascinated with scuba diving, and I also recommend and advocate people to do it because it actually brings a certain element of excitement and potential
Sure.
danger as well. Because I mean, let's be real. There are people who have passed and died
Yeah.
while they've been scuba diving. Right now, I don't recommend that you do whatever they did because it mostly goes back to not thinking things through clearly enough and not having your equipment fixed and so on.
Yeah.
Right?
When you go
But yeah,
scuba, I'm sorry. When you go scuba
no,
diving,
please, please, please,
yeah. When
please.
you go scuba diving, is there a certain depth that is considered that? Like, does it matter, or how does it work?
Yes, yeah, it matters a lot because it depends first and foremost on the gas that you're breathing. Most of the time, you breathe air, right? Regular air. But there is also another gas that's called nitrox,
Okay.
right? That's oxygen enriched air, in which there's
Okay.
more oxygen than in regular air. That means that you can't go as far down, you can't go as deep as with regular air, but you can remain, at the bottom for a longer time before you have to ascend again.
Yeah. How do you know when you're gonna head out to go scuba diving? How do you know where to go? That's the proper depth for you.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, that's a good question. You have something that's called a diving computer. It's a computer with an algorithm. It's kind of like a
Yeah.
watch, and it
Oh.
displays the depth. Yeah. So you have like a depth indicator,
Yeah,
which
I'm a
shows
city.
you.
I'm a city boy. I'm a city guy, man. I like looking at
Yeah,
water. I don't usually go in it.
exactly, right? But yeah, no, you have kind of like this diving computer where it says how deep you are, how long you can remain there, and so on. But also, I mean, if you want to go real old school, and I believe you should this, there are these old school tables, regular tables where you can kind of like calculate how deep am I going, how long am I going to stay there, how much air am I, or what kind of gas am I breathing? That's how long I can stay there, right? So yeah, but this goes back to planning and so on, right? Because if you ascend too fast to the surface, there will accumulate nitrogen bubbles in your blood, and they can clog and potentially kill you, right? They could quench, or they could actually stop the bloodstream from flowing into your brain, for instance, or your spine. Imagine your spine getting fucked up, right?
Oh, God.
So yeah. I mean, there's some serious shit that could happen, and that goes back to I mean, seeking out risk intelligently, doing something that's on the edge, right? I
Yeah.
mean, in
Yeah.
our group, we talk a lot about fighting, about sparring, and so on, right? Which is important, right? For you to appreciate life more, which also means that you get more energy, right?
Absolutely. And
But
more
yeah, I
calm.
love scuba diving. I recommend it a lot to everyone who wants to do it. And if anybody have questions about scuba diving, I mean, just hit me up, right?
That's it. He's got some great picks too to
Yeah,
show it. Absolutely.
yeah,
So, brother, and we had a question here actually before.
sure.
Okay, NICBMF asked, "Hey, Big G's, any supplements you take for high energy cognition?"
Yeah, very good question. I take one supplement, and that's a very, very simple one: cod liver oil.
Ah, okay.
Pretty simple, right? All
Okay.
natural. Norwegian cod liver oil. That's
Okay.
that's what I take, right? I mean, yeah. So in regards to supplements, I know there is a whole bunch of experts and people who swear to this or that. I don't use them a lot. I mean, I've experimented with some, but in my opinion, it all goes back to to eating right, getting in enough sleep, whatever that means to you, and drinking water, drinking coffee, staying in
Yeah.
shape, right? But
Right.
yeah, I mean, I've had tremendous help, and I've had tremendous, well, yeah, I had tremendous help. I
Yeah.
guess is the right word to use from cod liver oil, right? So that's the supplement that I swear by.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. So as we're closing out, and this has been phenomenal, guys that are still on here, if you've gotten a lot from this, please, put a heart up, for our guy Aasmund, who's been really sharing a lot of great information around energy creation, so forth, and doing, kind of building yourself back up and taking care of yourself, and then, the scuba diving too is really interesting. I hope to one day do that.
Yeah, I'll show
Close
you.
out.
I'll show you.
Yeah, as we close out, brother, I always like to ask, because I consider you a professional. We're around a lot of professionals.
Yeah.
And I always like to ask our guests, what's I mean, I know you could, especially you could write out a list of things, but if just on the spot right now, one key trait that makes a professional that you could share here with the audience, I think we'd appreciate it.
Yes, one key trait that kind of like describes a professional is he does it every single day. Very simple, very easy, but he does it every single day. No excuse.
Right. Right. Consistency.
That's it. Yeah, consistency, right?
Yeah.
He
Right.
does it. I do my craft every single day. And that's it, because then I can't get it wrong. Every single day I'll do it.
Right. Right. That's awesome. That's awesome. Brother, thank you so much. Is there anything else you'd like to share in closing?
First of all, I want to say thank you a lot, Fabian. I appreciate you. I think you're a genuinely true professional as well. I love these G Lives, and I'm so happy to be here. I can't wait to see you again. I can't wait to shake your hand again, and I know it's going to be epic the next time we're meeting each other. So in that regard, I mean, if I'm allowed to promote my Twitter and IG handle,
please go right ahead, brother. Go right ahead.
Thank you. So it's a little bit difficult to pronounce. So, I guess I'll have to spell it out. And I don't know. My handle is the same on Twitter as on Instagram.
Right.
It's at AARYN.
They'll see it, and I'll put it on here. Yeah.
Yes, please.
I'll put it on here. And,
yes.
And it's the same one on Twitter, you said.
Yes. Same one.
Yeah.
For simplicity, for the sake of simplicity.
It's in the notes. Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Yeah, because this is obviously being recorded. So that's awesome, brother. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for this G Live with our good friend, G Aasmund. Hey, thank you so much for that, Peter G. To my inspiration.
Thank you, Peter G. Yes.
Thank you so much for watching, Aasmund. Thank you so much, brother. Thank you for taking the time out, and we'll always talk. And I appreciate you joining us on this G Live.
Thank you, Fabian. Thank you. It's been my honor. It's been my pleasure. I hope you all got a lot out of it. And please follow and subscribe.
Hey, let's get Aasmund's IG count up. Let's get his follow count up, and also on Twitter. Let's support him, because this is a genuine G right here. Genuine man with a lot of great wisdom, and just a guy that walks the walk, talks the talk. So if you're not following Aasmund, make sure you go follow him.
Same goes for Fabian. Thank you, Fabian. It's been an honor. It's been an honor.
Take care.
All right. Thank you.